Good morning. Mm. Hmm. Okay. Ooh. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Oh, let me hit the record button. All right. Happy Tuesday. I think this is the first Tuesday in September. Um, Now we're dating calls. Hi over in IG, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all the places. How are y'all doing this morning? Hopefully, really well. Hopefully, you got a chance to enjoy some time off and refresh, rejuvenate, like kind of get yourself back into a cool place. Today, we are exploring, and I know we've kind of been leading up to this and going over different things. And if you are a part of my email list, then you will totally know that there have been some emails going out about some upcoming opportunities where I am partnering and sharing one of my peers' information. Rita Black, just remember the name, check out the links. If you're not on my email list, then you're totally missing out on the information and opportunity. But for today, we are looking at embracing opportunities for growth. I know last week the title may have been somewhat similar, but we were giving ourselves the space and opportunity to look at how turning those setbacks into opportunities for growth. And we really ended up focusing on the obstacles, hence ourselves being predominantly the obstacles that were getting in the way. This week, we are looking at how are you going to take opportunities for growth in stride? How can you look at what it is you're doing and how you're going about doing life and noticing those times when something changes or is different? This morning I was looking and I realized, a nice little pimple going right underneath my nose, which to me, as you see me, like I don't know, I don't wear makeup mostly because I'm lazy. I don't have any desire to get up and do all that stuff. Sometimes you might get a full eyebrow. You might even get some lashes put in and a little bit of shiny lip gloss, but that's about the most that I have the mental capacity for. And I would say fortunate to Thomas Jefferson and Olivia, they ensured that I came through with some nice looking skin that's doing its thing. However, periodically, I will still get a pimple. And for me, that is a huge indicator of where I'm at physically, what's going on or not going on. Good morning on Facebook. I think Andrea, nice seeing you this morning. A pimple for me is a huge indicator that I'm not doing what I need to be doing because I don't otherwise typically get them. There is I guess you could call it a period pimple that may show up periodically, but getting a pimple for me means something's different. Noticing that maybe my lips are chapped means something's different. All of you have been taught at some point, and if not, then let you be this many minutes old today when you've learned that when you use the restroom, you should check your urine to see what color are you putting out there, to notice how hydrated your body is or isn't. Do you have challenges with your digestive system to the point where maybe you aren't a frequent goer of number 2 and maybe a super frequent goer of only number 1, but being able to give yourself permission to take notice of your body, to look at finding different flaws or things happening in your body as a chance to really look at, what do I need to be doing with myself? How do I need to be showing up? And where is there an opportunity for me to actually grow and use this maybe minor setback or blemish, like a pimple, as a means to put myself in a better position to do something different? A topic that's kind of come up most recently, and I don't really know that there's anywhere to go with this except to normalize it and give hopefully other women this space of like, I may not be the only one. As people change and shift and you mature, you may notice that your body does different things, that for women, our lovely, beautiful hair, whether we choose to keep it on, cut it off, longer, whatever, things start to shift. And you may notice gray hairs. You may notice thinning. You may notice even balding. Or if some of you are privy to things such as alopecia, which I've had my entire life. When you are more stressed, and these are those opportunities for growth, when you are more stressed, your body will give you indicators if you are not otherwise listening, and they will continue to intensify until you listen or dwindle and wither away. Coming up soon, and I know some folks like to look at the wintertime as bulking season. I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it, because there's so many holidays that are packed that will make it pretty effortless to eat all the good food ever and be like, oh, I'm just bulking, and then start shredding that weight so that by the spring, summer, you can jump back into our elongated summer for most places, where once it finally kicked in, it was pretty intense. But the things you do in the wintertime to preserve and support your body won't look the same way as what you do in maybe the spring or the fall. And depending on the climate of where you live at, you should be taking into consideration what things are really available for you to have different chances and opportunities to see what ways can I grow at this point in time. Is there something I can be doing differently or the same that will really put me in a position to level up my physical presentation, which allows me to literally move about in the world so that you can show up on things like even this call. If I were still in the amount of pain that I was in, I don't know, a couple of months ago, or literally this time last year from an injury, a workout injury, because I was doing the most, I wouldn't necessarily be sitting here comfortably. I'd be like, oh, wincing and hensing, but that was an indicator for me to recognize that my growth didn't look like continuing to lift heavy or try to bulk in a way that was going to, I don't know, like win competitions or something. It was a time for me to slow down and start to decrease the intensity of my workouts while still keeping the consistency and maintaining them. Again, you'll be seeing, if you haven't already, some posts coming out, some things in the emails about an opportunity to explore if you're looking to pursue weight loss. A peer of mine that is hosting a program that I'm totally going to be taking advantage of, because there are things that I would like to change in shape for myself. Physically, the better I feel, the easier it is for me to be able to notice those opportunities for growth. When I don't feel good about how I look, or like literally physically, if you ever notice, there are times where you just feel really heavy, or you're you can just feel every single thing that's happening for you. It makes it a lot harder to be motivated to want to do things or show up. Just the same, and it's really simple. If you don't get enough rest, you are not the best version of you at all, like at all. At a certain point, you actually can go into a psychosis if you have not slept for a certain period of time. None of you are going to be that person or do that. I know this for sure. But these are just things to notice. If you notice yourself being out of it and not okay and just not quite sure why things aren't clicking the way they used to, there might be a physical thing that you totally have control over that you can start to shift and do something different about, that will give you the opportunity to actually show up and function in a better version of yourself. But when you ignore those indicators, ignore those clues, your body doesn't have the opportunity to support you in its fullest, which means you don't get to be the greatest version of yourself. You end up being a version. It may even be functional. But what if you could function at a higher rate and consistent rate of like the most awesome version of yourself? I think it'd be pretty cool, but that's just my personal opinion. If you were able to do so, that could look like you noticing when your body's sending you the subtle indicators that something's wrong or needs to be shifted or changed, and then doing something about it. Yawning can mean so many different things. Feeling a slight pinch or pain in your body. If you work out super heavy, and you've heard the term muscle head before, it doesn't mean all the time that you're gaining more muscles and you're doing a great job, which is what I thought at various points of my life. It means you're in pain. Your body hurts. Something needs a break. It needs a chill. It needs a reboot. You need to shift the way you're doing things so that you can actually continue the growth that you started on and that you've already started to achieve, but it needs to look different now. It needs to shift and morph with where you're going, which also should really be in alignment with what are your goals currently? What is it that you're seeking to do? Are you really clear on that? And have you given yourself permission and space to shift and change that per each quarter of your life, per each stage, phase? There's so many different things that we don't give ourselves permission or the opportunity to shift or change, either because we're stuck at what society says we should be doing, what our culture or community says we should be doing, and or for sure, what our families are saying we need to be doing. And if you are a real life adult, which most of you are, your significant other, your spouse, what they're telling you they are expecting you to do, or knowing who you were before, they want you to stay the same way, mostly because it serves them and allows them to be comfortable with the consistency of knowing who they're dealing with. But if you're preventing yourself from exploring different versions of you, you don't give yourself the opportunity to really show up as the greatest version of yourself, because you keep pouring into a stagnant, stale version of you that isn't, it's not the one that's going to set you up for success. It's not the one that's going to put you in a position where now you get to help people the way you most want to help them, and even see those opportunities for growth, whether it's personally, professionally, spiritually, financially, physically. There's so many different areas where you can grow. But if you don't give yourself the time and space to reevaluate where you're at, what you're doing, and notice the signals that your body may be sending you, it gets a hell of a lot harder to be in a position to show up for those things. How do you show up for an opportunity that's available to you if you don't? I don't know why people would be calling me this morning, but how do you show up for those places or those opportunities if you physically are too sick to even notice that somebody just set you up for a whole dunk? They like through the alley, all you had to do was just like, but you miss it because you were too busy preoccupied with some other stuff that you perceived as maybe a setback, maybe an obstacle, maybe not a reality that should be yours, because you haven't given yourself that opportunity to dream beyond what you currently have access to. I hate to say it, we still tend to be our biggest blockers and barriers. There's been moments and times where you have had a thought, a feeling, or just seen someone else's life and then realized in that moment, oh, if that can be true for that person, me being close to them just by, the law of polarity, like us being close by, means that's a possibility for me. Why wouldn't I seek an opportunity to grow in that same way if it seems to be working for someone else? Just the same as if you notice someone not doing okay and not doing well, you also have the opportunity to grow from noticing what isn't working for them and choosing not to set yourself in the same space or the same way. When these opportunities to grow come around, it does require you to intentionally say yes. It requires you to show up differently than how you've shown up before. It means looking at, how do I want to go about doing life on purpose? Are there certain people that I need to connect with or meet with? Are there certain programs or things that I can sign up for that will cut down on the learning curve of how to make this happen? And when those things show up, it's like pretty awesome how that works out in everyone's favor. But it requires you to be aware of it so that you can even embrace these opportunities for growth. Those pants that don't always fit, the hairstyle that every time you do it, you notice you lose more hair or not, the skin products that you seem to get more pimples or irritations, like that's not you're doing something wrong. That doesn't work for you. That's an opportunity to grow and to use something else, maybe a whole lot lesser products, maybe adding more in. Maybe it's just as simple as, what vitamin did I need to take more of? Did I go outside in the sun today? Did I embrace those things that were available to me in this immediate moment that would afford me the opportunity to seriously be able to grow? Or did I ignore them and deny them because I'm not taking care of myself physically? I'm not taking care of myself mentally. I'm not taking care of myself financially. And all of these different things I'm mentioning, there's a professional that can help you with all. A therapist can help you with your mental health. You can join a gym or fitness group or workout thing, there's apps on phones that can help you with your body. You can seek nutritionists. You can find accountants or financial planners or tons of people on the internet that are offering free stuff that would allow you to get your finances in order and help set up a budget that gives you freedom instead of seeing it as a restriction. In the last excerpt of the Creative Life books, The Radical Self-Love, I spoke about various different love languages, which can look like, how do you show yourself love via money, like via the time you give yourself, like all these different things. But if you don't know that that's possibly a way to care for yourself, how are you going to do it? You're probably not, because you're missing that opportunity. You're missing the space to just embrace it and hug it, like, let me try it on, see how I like it. And if it works, keep it. And if it doesn't, throw it in the trash. I mean, it sounds super simple. And I wouldn't need to be saying it if I didn't need to be reminded of it periodically and haven't come across other folks that could appreciate just hearing the simplicity of, try something different. Go with that thought or that flow that came up and see, does it work for you? If you are causing zero harm to yourself and zero harm to other people, there's this much of a chance that there could be something really awesome that you now get to embrace this opportunity for growth instead of just being stuck in the same spot and being thoroughly perplexed as to how and why you keep having the same experiences. Hence the definition of insanity. And since no one's going to be insane anymore, unless it's insane about how well you keep taking care of yourself because it keeps working, then let's be insane for being greater versions of ourselves, not sadly insane because we keep doing the same stuff that doesn't work and keep missing the opportunities to make those shifts and growths into ways that it could work, which also includes removing yourself or adding yourself to situations. Well, hopefully that gave a little bit of insight for your morning, for your day. And if you're coming back and hearing this replay later, depending on when you hear it, you will totally notice there's a shift in focusing a little bit more on the body in these upcoming, and this for this month, and how you can go about making those different changes for yourself, as well as supporting other people. You may see me choosing to share some more about my actual physical journeys, because I normally keep it very, very private and to myself, because that's my business. But how can I share or talk about it if I don't share at least a little snippet or something? So I'll be sharing a little bit more about what I do physically, just so that I'm in alignment with what it is I'm sharing with you all, as well as looking at this as another opportunity for growth for myself. Because who knows, maybe some of you guys out there, like my friend Rita, like have some pretty awesome things going on that I would have never known and would have missed out on because I didn't want to share what I was doing. So I look forward to seeing y'all next Tuesday and embracing intentionally a little bit more about, okay, what are we going to do with our bodies now? Like for real, like let's stop BSing. What are we going to do? Because at this point, people are back in school. For folks that have children and or work in jobs or places where that's a thing. There's also, excuse me, people that are back at work because they're back from their vacations. So let's go ahead and actively start taking care of ourselves. When we take care of our physical base, our body, it makes it that much easier to check in with our mind and then actually explore how we want to go about taking care of ourselves and who we're going to allow in that space to support us in the first place, so we can reclaim these amazing, awesome versions of ourselves. Well, I hope you all have an amazing day, and you feel free to check me out next Tuesday, see what I'm talking about. Check out the socials, hit us up, send a text if you got topic suggestions, any of those things. We're more than happy to like bring them up and talk about them. What's the worst that can happen? Nobody likes it. Happens every single day, and I'm still here. So send us a text, 626-722-5661. Shoot us an email, info@greaterself.org. Check out the connections that we're making with other folks. There is a free workshop coming up shortly with Rita Black, a therapist also, and a hypnotist that supports people with weight loss. I'll be there. Like, just FYI, in case you're wondering. Let's see, anything else happening? Oh, just expect some new photos coming out from, some photo shoots and things that I'm doing with my weekends that I forget to share with you all because I'm so present in the moment. I forget, but somebody captured it. So I'll be sharing a little bit more. Hope y'all have an amazing day, and I will see y'all next week.